So as a business is growing, what you want to be doing as a leader is 6 very specific and deliberate things to create that purpose-driven culture within your organization. The first thing is you want to be creating a purpose committee or that task force. Right at the front end of this verse, create that purpose committee and empower that committee to do whatever it needs to do to bring purpose to life across the organization. Give it permission to innovate, to come up with new ideas, to make sure that you're always looking for new ways to bring to life your purpose, creating brand experiences that are anchored into purpose, and creating ways of bringing to life your purpose within your own teams. First thing to do, really get clear on that committee and give it the tools and the space it needs to do its work. The second thing you want to do in this journey as a leader, building a purpose-driven culture, is you want to identify the believers or the ambassadors. Now, we tend to do this quite early in the process because by creating workshops where you're looking across the entire organization, you want to find that who are the people who are self-identifying as being interested in this kind of stuff. Bring them in. Find out the people who are the influencers within their peer groups. Give them a space. You want to identify the believers, the early adopters, the ambassadors, and give them the opportunity to come and play and to be part of the committee, or even just to have space to bring their own ideas so that they are driving that culture throughout the organization and influencing within their peer groups. The third thing you want to be doing is creating meaningful spaces for every single person in the organization to have an opportunity to contribute to the purpose of the organization. One great example that I often give is from a company called Masher in the US, a design agency, and they offered every single person on their staff the opportunity to choose an area of the purpose and then develop a project or an initiative that spoke to it. Now, they had 100% volunteer take-up. 100% of the people in the company said, yeah, that really lights me up. I'd like to do that. On my own time, I'd like to do that. So people created these new ideas and these new initiatives, and actually some of them were so good that they got rolled into new products and services for clients, and one even got rolled out to being a spin-off company. So create opportunities for people to actively engage in bringing their own space and their own ideas to serve the purpose of the company. The next thing that you want to do to really build that purpose-driven leadership culture, and this is perhaps the most fundamental of all, is enable and empower your people to identify their purpose and figure out how it aligns with the purpose of the organization. We have a program called the Purpose-Driven Leadership Journey. It's designed to do just that, to enable every single person in your organization in a relatively short period of time, just a few weeks, to identify their own purpose, to see how it overlaps with the purpose of the organization, to articulate their zone of leadership excellence where they can make their biggest contribution, and to articulate what they can be counted on for and not counted on for within the business and within their work. So you create a space where everybody has the opportunity to be lit up by the work that they're doing and to feel that they're coming to work for you, in your company, with you, in service of the company's purpose, but also serving their purpose every day. The next piece that you want to be doing to build this leadership culture, purpose-driven leadership culture, is to enable, once you've helped people identify that zone of leadership excellence where their purpose and the organization's purpose overlap, start to rethink job descriptions. Yeah? They will have articulated their superpowers going through this process, so make sure they're spending as much time as possible in their superpowers. On average, what we find is people only spend 20 to 25% of their time in that zone of leadership excellence, doing the things that truly light them up, that they're truly talented at, in service of the organization to make their biggest contribution. So change it around. Shift things so that you have people who are lit up to come to work and they're spending 50, 60, maybe even 75% of their time in their zone of leadership excellence, making their biggest contribution every day. And the final thing as a leader you want to be doing to build a purpose-driven culture is you want to be hiring for purpose. Now, we often talk about culture fit, but in my experience, people are still being hired for skills, and maybe the last interview will be a culture fit interview. Flip that around. Start by hiring for purpose. There's one great organization in Canada that works in the travel space, and their purpose is all around fun and adventure. And in their offices, they have a ball pit. You know those ball pits that kids play in? They have a ball pit. And the CEO insists that all interviews are done in the ball pit. So when people come in for an interview, suited and booted and looking forward to this great opportunity, they are led into a ball pit and they sit there, and how they show up in that space determines whether they get a second interview or not. They are hiring for culture and they are hiring for purpose first and foremost. You can teach people skills. What you can't teach people is alignment to purpose. So these are the things that you need to be doing as a leader to create this space of purpose-driven leadership and culture within your organization. If you have questions on any of these, or you're interested in figuring out how we can bring the purpose-driven leadership journey to your teams to help every single person identify their purpose, their zone of leadership excellence, and create that unique space within your company, then underneath this video there is a link you can click on, or on the website you can email us.